Good morning and welcome to Treetops Raceway Park, home of the crossover. Today we'll continue on with the IDRL 2.0, sponsored by Merch by Meekin, and put on by Marcus.firegone. The top 10 times for Treetops are listed here, with a 9.356 or better needed to get on the list. Now let's look at the current point standings going into this fourth group. And you see Sneaky Bob will be at the top of the list with 39 points, followed by Cupcake, 2K, and John Connors. And here's the bottom 16. Only the top 28 will be moving on to the next track, which is Funkhouser Diecast Racing League. Here are the cars today and Heat 4 introductions. Starting off with car number 89 is Big Mac from Madness Motorsports. Next up, we have car number 48, driven by Jefe from 407 Diecast Kings. And then we'll have number 33, which is Jimmy Tanto from Uncle Elvis Racing. And then car number 57, which is Hades from Karmic Racing. And now let's move right into lap one, where you'll have Jefe and Big Mac in the front row, Jimmy Tanto and Hades in the back row, and they're off. And it looks like Big Mac gets a whole shot and cuts off Jefe. Jefe gets sideways. Big Mac will take off and leave him. Oh, you see Hades got by Jimmy Tanto. A nice lead for Big Mac going into the final turn. Followed by Jefe, then Hades, then Jimmy Tanto. And that's the way they will finish. Right here you see Big Mac cuts down onto Jefe, gets Jefe sideways. Jimmy Tanto gets into him, slowing them down. And right here you'll see Hades get by Jimmy Tanto. And that is pretty much how they finish. Hades tries to get by Jefe, but just cannot make it happen. An 11.235 was the time for Big Mac. So Big Mac leads the group with 5, Jefe with 3, Hades with 2, and Jimmy Tanto with 1. And now for lap 2. You'll have Big Mac and Jimmy Tanto in the front row, Jefe and Hades in the back row. And they're off. It looks like Big Mac is getting on the inside of Jimmy Tanto, but Jimmy Tanto cuts down, gets spun. Jimmy Tanto is holding up. Ooh, Jimmy Tanto and Big Mac are sideways, blocking Jefe and Hades. And that's where they will stop. So now we'll go back to the top of the hill and retry lap 2. Same starting order, with Big Mac and Jimmy Tanto on the front row, Jefe and Hades in the back row, and they're off again. And it looks like Jimmy Tanto got a nice shot, followed by Big Mac. Big Mac gets into the back of Jimmy Tanto and tries to get around, but can't. And Jimmy Tanto is going to lead them down into the final corner, and he will take it, followed by Big Mac, then Jefe, and then Hades. Right here you see both Big Mac and Jefe get by Hades. And that's how they finish. 10.203 for Jimmy Tanto. So now you have Big Mac with 8, Jimmy Tanto with 6, Jefe with 5, and Hades with 3. And now for lap 3. Lap 3 puts Jimmy Tanto and Hades on the front row, followed by Big Mac and Hefe in the back row. They're off. Looks like Hades is going to pull the whole shot. He does. Jimmy Tonto tries to get by. He does get by Hefe, but cannot get by Hades. A little bit of bumping and banging going on there, and Hefe and Big Mac get into it. It looks like they stalled out. Hades will lead them into the final turn. Oh, and we just lost Jimmy Tonto, and Hades will take the win. Big Mac is on his rough with Hefe down there in the corner stuck as well. And there you see Jimmy Tonto got knocked off the track down there. Right here you see Jimmy Tonto gets on the inside of Hefe and gets by. Here comes Big Mac, tries to, gets a little hitch, and right here you see Big Mac and Hefe get into it. Hefe gets turned sideways and just stalls them out. A 10.427 for Hades. And now Big Mac and Hades are tied with 8. Jimmy Tonto with 6. Hefe with 5. Now for the final lap, lap 4. You have Hades and Hefe in the front row. Jimmy Tonto and Big Mac in the back row. And they're off. Looks like Hefe has the whole shot, followed by Big Mac and Hades. And now Big Mac gets by Hefe, and so does Jimmy Tonto. And oh no, Hades got hooked up on the rail, but he does get going again, barely. You see Big Mac leads him into the final turn, followed by Jimmy Tonto, and Jimmy Tonto gets off the track again. Hefe gets by him in the final turn, and Hefe will take second, and we lost Jimmy Tonto, and Hades did not have the momentum to get around that final turn. Right here you see Hefe has got the lead. Big Mac was in second with Hades on the inside, and Big Mac fought to get by and does. And then right here Hefe gets a little sideways, which allows Big Mac to get by him. And then there's a tie up in the back. And right there you see Hades get stuck up on the rail, but keeps going down the track. And right there you see Jimmy Tonto gets caught on the rail. And then Hades comes around, does a 180, and just stalls out. We've got a 10.604, or 606, sorry. Let's see where the final points. You got Big Mac with 13 to win the group. Hefe and Hades tied with 8, and Jimmy Tonto with 6. And that will put all of them in the top 16 with Jimmy Tonto right at 16th. And here are your bottom 16. And if you enjoyed this race, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next Saturday.